Right then, so this is a quick video today on how I make hanging steel disc targets for down the range. So you're going to need some sort of steel disc for a start. You're going to need some key ring rings, basically, chain, and you're going to need a Proxon, Dremel, multi-tool, and a cutting disc as well. So I've been making these a few times now. I've bought two different types. So these are slightly thicker. These were off Temu, and I think these were about £6 for 6 of them. So not all that expensive. Sadly, the way I mounted these last time, they've all fell off down the range and gone missing. I've got one left. Now these ones are dirt cheap. These are like a stamping disc, I don't know, for like luggage tags, dog collar tags, so on and so forth. Now they're a lot thinner, as you can see. But I think I've got 25 of these for about £6. Have been shooting them at the range, so 12 foot pound. Does put a bit of a ding and a dent in them, but they seem to be standing up okay. Now, my last one vanished the other day. They literally ping off to oblivion when they disappear. So I thought I'll make a few more, and I thought I'd get a quick video on it. So you're going to need the discs, which I've got there. There's the pack of them. I'll put links for all these in the description of the video. You're going to need the key ring rings as well, which you can get a pack of, and chain, which I have this pack of chain I got off Amazon, and I've got a cutting disc and my trusty Proxon rotary tool. Just give that a rev up. There we go. Make sure you've got safety glasses on. So what we need to do first is cut our chain to them. Now, sadly, I have no actual cutters that will cut this by hand because it is quite a substantial chain. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to cut our chain to length. We've got a knot in the chain. How the hell do you get a knot in a chain? Seriously. There we go. Right. We're going to work out our length. So we're probably going to go for about there. We're going to cut that off. Now make sure you've got glasses on. Hold on to the wire, the chain with a pair of tools so you don't get hot. So there we go. Right, so now with that like that, that will hang that way up at the range. So what I'll do now is this will get mounted to the existing target at the range, and then that will hang down like so, and because it should sit on the chain with a little bit of a gap, it should always sit the way we want it to sit. So let's do that, and then we'll pop we'll use some big ones actually because we've got loads of the big ones. We'll pop that through there. And what I'll do tomorrow, I'm at the range tomorrow, and I'm taking HW35. Well, it'll be last week probably for you by the time I upload this. And I'll get some pictures of them up, and hopefully me knocking the living bejesus out of them with the iron sights on HW35. Now what we can do now is that can be looped around wherever at the range and hung up nice and easy, fairly quick and really simple. So if I work out the price of this, it'll work out at pennies, and if I do work out, I'll pop it up on screen. I'll work it out quickly, and you'll see that they are relatively cheap targets to do. So we're going to do exactly the same with this one. We're going to use a medium. No, we'll use a big one again. I've got more of the big ones than the little ones. Like I say, these are a lot more substantial, for sure. We've got a piece of chain I cut off earlier, which is that one. There we go. Now this one's flawed because it's a different angle. That one's straight, that one's not. So how are we going to do this one? Let's have a little thing. I don't suppose we've got the strength. No, we're not going to turn that, are we? So what we'll have to do is take that back off. We'll have to double this up. So I'll put a smaller one on, a medium one on. And then we'll put the bigger one on. And that way it'll be turned to the correct angle. There we go, we'll do that. And then this should make it hang correctly. have a little look. There we go. Perfect. Then we'll pop that through there. And there we go. Perfect. So we'll do that. And we'll pop a couple more of these on. And we're ready to hang these up at the range. Like I said, I'll get some footage. Probably give them a lick of paint as well, so they get a quick blow over with some primer. But there you go, 2 relatively inexpensive targets there. Doing it this way, other than with the broken chain link, it's going to be a lot more substantial and last, like I say, they lasted for, some flew off after a couple of shots, some flew off after a week. I think over time it literally just weakened itself and bent this chain. But there we go. I'll pop it up on screen how much these cost roughly. The Teamer one's going to be more expensive. I won't include those because going forward I'll just use these. Now they are bigger, but I will tend to only use these down the back of the range. I'm going to put one up at 30 yards tomorrow because, like I say, I'm going to be using iron sights. I'm going to paint it white. Will white be the best for iron sights? Or it'll probably be better with a little bit of colour. I might be better with a bit of colour, mightn't I? Right, so we're going to end the video there a little bit abruptly. I did plan to get some footage of me shooting these, but I didn't get the opportunity to. So we'll get that in one of my next rifle videos. But for now, I did flash the costs up before, but I'll go through them now in a little bit more detail. So all these were off Amazon. I'll put the links in the description down below. So the discs were £8.99 for 25. So that works out about 35 pence per target. The key rings are £3.99 for 20. There's 3 used on each target. So that works out about 70 pence per target for all 3 of those. The chain's £6.48 for 5 meters. Roughly, it's going to vary from size to size, but that roughly works out about 54 pence per target. So that works out to be about £1.59 per target. Now, these are quite, what's the word? They do last quite a while down the range. The thinner discs do dent, not really bad, but I've been shooting the living bejesus out of them today at 65, 45, 55 yards, and they do hold up pretty well. So I think for a nice, cheap, reactive target, I think these are pretty good. Like I said, I'll put links to everything in the description down below, and I'll get some footage of me shooting them next time I'm down at the range, alright? So I hope you liked that video. Bit of a strange one, I know, but it was just something I did on the fly. If you've made any homemade targets yourself, let me know what you've made. We can all go out and put sweets out there. A lot of us do that, chalks and that. But they're a one-off target. They need replenishing all the time. I want a reactive target that stays there. One of the guys on the range has made a spinner at 65 yards out of spoons, which is really good. That's holding up pretty well so far. But I like the reactiveness of the targets on the chains for me. That's what does it. But there we go. Hope you found that useful. Like I say, if you made any yourself, let me know. Did you do it a different way? Have you used something different? Whatever. Let me know. Alright? So there we go. Enjoy the rest of the day, everyone. Make sure you sub to the channel. Click the bell notification. Give the video a thumbs up. Leave a comment. I love reading all your comments. And thanks for all the support going forward so far. Absolutely fantastic. Enjoy the rest of the day, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.